And welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you are one of the 50% of the people who are watching this that are not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, so toss me a buck or two if you are enjoying these streams. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently listening to on mute, simply click on that link to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And if you are, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition across to my photos so I can share the show on Facebook, Skype and Twitter. And I would encourage anybody who is currently in the live stream to please do the same. Please share the show. So that means you, OJ McBaggins, you, Arwin, and you, HootTube. And I'll shout everybody out after I've done the shares. So please share the show. The reason I pester people to share the show so much is because it increases the viewing audience, which in turn increases the diversity of the people on the panel. So thanks in advance to all the people who share the show. Once again, if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Was going to do a few shout outs, but we have actually been joined by Arwin, just to save me typing them though. If he's patient enough, I will do the shout outs before I share the show. So Agent Detective, good to have you here. Dawn Treader UK, thank you very much for being in the live stream. Flatman, nice to see you. Ranty, good to have you here, my friend. HootTube, I've already said hello to you, but another shout out, big shout out to HootTube, regular watcher. Joven Trendmaker, thank you very much, another regular watcher. Thank you very much for being here, good to see you. And I think that's it. Oh, there's one more. Still Earth Journey. There you go. I'm not going to read any more because there'll be others. But in the meantime, I'm going to transition back to the show so I can do an introduction to our first guest. So, how you doing, Arwin? Good to have you here, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nathan. There's a real snowstorm going on outside. Although it's stopped now, but like everything's white. Everything totally covered in snow.
Same here.
How's the weather over at you?
Same, exactly same. White.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have a white Christmas this year.
Maybe it's a bit early to tell. When it could go either way.
That's true.
But you must have something on your mind, Arwin. You've come in early, so I assume you want the platform to say something. So I'm going to turn my camera and mic off. You go ahead, my friend.
Nah, I just thought I'd follow my own advice and arrive early, so I can still say things uninterrupted. But yeah.
I'm happy to carry on doing shout outs if you want to gather your thoughts. So hello to Martin Leetka.
I was gonna say something, but...
No, go ahead then. Far be it for me to take over. You go ahead.
I'm just wondering, like, where is it really going? Because, like, I really like these debates. It's funny to just keep on, like, flexing muscles, really keep on training ourselves. It's a good thing, but yeah, how much are we really accomplishing? Except like keeping up some kind of appearance of dominance of one side or the other. Yeah, We're
joined
doing
by Hank Hill.
experiments, some of us.
Very pleased to have you here, Hank. Sorry, Owen. How you doing, Hank?
Grand. Thanks for the invite or the link.
Hello, Hank. Wait.
Yeah, I just heard you talking about, this debate, what are we doing here? And I guess, we're exchanging information and, we're sharpening our arguments and our rhetoric and hopefully our logic. And, I kind of think this is a good thing,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
could debate on other things too, but I think our cosmology is important. It's very important to me.
Yeah, but I'm just so bothered by that we're so limited in what we can basically accomplish. We're stuck to theory, we're stuck to ifs, and sometimes we get lucky and somebody who's in the right spot makes the right footage or observation or whatever. But yeah, there's only so far we can go. And everybody keeps talking about, yeah, let's go to the South Pole or let's go to the North Pole or let's try something. And yeah, in the meantime, we're all stuck here. And like this stuff is really freaking expensive. Like if you really want to get serious. And are we getting there? Well, I'd like to think that I am, but that doesn't really seem to go anywhere. Except for, yeah, well, talking and sharpening skills and everything, and that's kind of fun. Learning to tolerate really harsh criticism by some Globers that just keep on pounding. But yeah, what can you do? I think what really defines a Glober is their tenacity. Or how do you say it? Tenaciousness?
So did you think about what I said about arguing for geocentricity is a lot easier and arguing for deep space being, wrong, or their concepts of deep space? And, because I really think it boils down to philosophy when it comes to the motion of the Earth or the motion of the stars. It's basically where do you see yourself?
All of that stuff's just science fiction. It's all and visualizing it, and that's what makes it work so well. And all the formulas and all the systems that to fill up the gaps. And if something seems like it could work, and there's no other way to find out, then you just assume it does. And that's how they built the entire thing.
Been joined by Make4, I think was in first. How you doing, Make4?
Hey.
Good to have you here, my friend. Good to see you. And we've also been joined by PMars. Good to have you here, PMars.
I love Flat Earth.
Me too.
Sure. I've been getting smashed by physicists all morning. Not smashed, actually. Explaining some things, and then whatever I bring up, it sort of gets to this, like, it's just how it is. Momentum. Gravity doesn't pull us together because of momentum.
What?
Nothing, bro.
So earlier today,
Gravity doesn't work because of momentum? Serious?
Well, we're all spinning and stuff and like orbiting, so we can never be pulled together by gravity and smash into each other, even though like there's no resistance because there's no air out there, so we would pull even faster. Just doesn't happen, but.
Well, before I actually started to figure out the flat Earth, I could conceive of a balance, as it were, that would kind of work. Although, yeah, still there's the vacuum problem. And yeah, you can't really get that out of the way. So, but other than that, yeah, if you how do you say, can get over the suspense of disbelief with the gravitational pull, then yeah, sure, this Earth could kind of work. Except for the vacuum out there, that makes no damn sense. It's just no, it could never work.
Yeah, I was looking at what is it? I don't know what the hell it's called, Discovery
I
or something.
suggested to them, like, guys, yeah, it's all very nice, but just switch through it and just say, okay, it's actually all air out there. Okay, just go with it because this is not going to work out. You can't
go against
yeah,
NASA.
it doesn't work. You can't make it work. So, but
well, I don't want to continue. I don't want my younger generations being freaking lied to. Excuse me for almost swearing, but like, I have a son, and I don't want him being brought up in this crazy world. To be honest, I kind of,
yeah,
I don't know.
Get your feelings on that.
But like,
I still think that the entire heliocentric system and everything is still a very fascinating and
absolutely
worthwhile cultural puzzle.
For sure,
we've
for
all
sure.
been building, and if we just see it as such, like a supreme cultural puzzle that we've made, and that we've actually believed was true for a while, then yeah, we could keep it. We could still work on it. We could still make movies with it. It would be fantastic. But let's just get real with the Earth, with where
pretty
we live.
Much. Yeah,
with
like
the limited amount of resources we have, and we have to figure out how that works, how much we can actually spend.
I mean, I can
before we destroy the place. By accident.
Just imagine it was something weird, like there was actually a dome there or something like that. That'd be a little bit depressing. Kind of like, it's just a big TV screen there. But it'd also be very interesting. But like, I don't know, like it could be keeping the dream alive for people. I guess.
Dome would only be half of the inside, basically, because then you would still have to figure out: is the dome also does it go down? Is it like an egg, or see, there's more to it than just that.
And like the temperatures, like is it not our sun that's protecting us from our atmosphere that's protecting us from massive temperatures? Like, that alone to get a rocket up into those temperatures is pretty hardcore. I was looking at the shape of that Discovery one. What is that nice looking rocket that's the glider looking thing that they attach onto jumbo jets? It's like is it the Discovery or something? I don't know. I was looking at that thing, and it's pretty much only got like 4 big booster rockets on the back of it, kind of thing, which can probably change direction a little bit for steering. But how I imagine that thing traveling through a vacuum without any air to give it aerodynamic sort of steering or anything like that. The wings are useless then. Like, it's just those 4 rockets at the back. Like,
you get the theoretical propulsion thing, but the thing is. When you're in absolute vacuum space, a propulsion would just be a release of gas. It wouldn't do anything to the momentum because it's a vacuum. It would probably create a spin.
I was talking to there's a physicist kind of guy. I don't want to pick on him because he is a physicist and he knows a fair bit. But I guess like we are sort of talking about like astrophysics or something even higher level than probably what he's used to studying. And all the other globe heads there, all those guys, and we were talking about how Earth rotates around the sun and the moon rotates around us, and it's in perpetual motion, like it never slows down. It should only really speed up, apparently, from some of the things that they say. Either way, if it slows down or moves faster, like either wouldn't work. Our days would be changing. Shit would be out the window. Like, and then also we were talking about the forces that keep them locked together, like how it doesn't like the moon doesn't rotate, or it rotates, but it only rotates once every orbit, sort of thing. So you only see one side of it. And they were telling me like, oh, a long time ago when the moon first formed and gravity was pulling on it, like pulling all the like whatever's together, they were saying that the elements inside the moon were soft, and the Earth caused those elements to pull to one side of the moon, and it got a bit lopsided, and that's why it always faces us, or something like that.
That sounds
And
like
I'm just like,
a made up on the spot story. Yeah, you heard.
yeah, like it's got enough power in the gravity to pull those elements to one side of the moon, the molten inside of it or whatever, but it just decided to like sort of stop there and just leave it like the exact same size as the sun. Sort of, all right, no, it's good. We've pulled it enough. It's just that perfect position. Gravity stops working now. And that the whole model for dust collecting after the Big Bang just goes out the window, because when items get bigger, their gravity gets greater, and so they should never ever stop pulling. We should never ever just become a momentum lock. Absolutely every single thing in this solar system, like.
Been joined
Wow,
by
Clayton.
Truthseeker. Very pleased to have you here, Truthseeker.
Hey, thanks everyone.
Good to see you.
I was going to say.
So, Truth Seeker, what do you think? I've spoken to several ballers that absolutely refuse to argue geocentricity. Like they think that it might be possible that the Earth is geocentric in nature. What do you think about that?
I think, unfortunately, a large percentage of the people having this discussion are either, willfully ignorant and/or don't want to admit that they've been wrong.
Well, I mean, you've got guys that have been going to some of these dudes have masters 4 years and then PhDs even greater. Like they've been studying this shit, this stuff for half of their life. And they don't want to turn around and be like, oh yeah, I kind of didn't see the bigger picture here or whatever, and I was actually a bit wrong there. But if I was like that, I wouldn't care, because during all that time you've studied all this other cool stuff, so you would have those guys have a lot of understanding about science. And it's like when we say, oh, flat earth, they think, oh, you don't believe in computers. It's like, we believe in science. Like, it's just the shape or something else. Stars are weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it is pride. I would say more of it's pride than people being willfully ignorant.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, the P900 is getting me, because when you zoom in on the sun and it's going down over that horizon, it does kind of look like it reverses what the sun's been doing. Like it makes the sun go up a little bit, but you still just see it keep on going down over that horizon. So it's kind of hard to, if there is actually. Sorry, you go.
No, I was just saying, I think the coolest thing with the P900, just from a simple standpoint, is it completely debunks their distances. This ADX zoom lens shouldn't be, gaining advantage on stuff that's hundreds of thousands or quintillions of miles away, and it does.
I mean, see when it zooms in on that sun, it looks like the sun raises, like comes away from setting, like it's rising instead of going down when you zoom in it at the right angle. I'm not sure if that's caused by the sort of digital zoom lens that puts my perspective closer and just makes the distance appear greater, as though it's rising instead of falling. It's a sort of a tough one. These perspective arguments and refraction and whatever that they say about light, these kind of arguments are really kind of pointless. It's what's so hard to prove about it. You can't just be like, gravity's this. I know it's in that book. It's about the same thing.
The whole perspective thing.
Sorry,
is
Arwin, to go interrupt you.
to-
Sorry, Arwin. We've been joined by Curved Water. Pleased to have you here, Curved. Proper introduction this time.
Evening, everyone.
Good to have you here. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, perspective. That whole thing. It's not as theoretical, because you can still just see at the elements and see how. I'm starting to figure out more and more that every time we look at these kind of super far distance images. Sorry, I'm struggling over my tongue today. I don't know why.
That's all right.
But um, yeah, it seems like there's not a curvature, rather that there is like a point, a perspective, first perspective point, cutoff point, where it just like, how do you say, like a blunt corner. It's like a cutoff point, and after that point, there's a straight line that seems to, yeah, go slightly down. And I think this is some kind of lens or lens effect, I guess. And there seems to be all kinds of mirage elements to it, very close to the
Like
bottom.
you're talking about the horizon. What I find funny is that eye level thing. How even when you're looking at like a drone's footage, anyone pick a good one that's not biased, whatever, and then looking at the drone footage as that goes up, the horizon stays in the middle of the screen and never changes. And it's like you never start seeing that earth below you that curves away from you. And, you know, they say, well, it's so damn big for a fair while, it's going to be flat, you know, for like, what, 1,000 Ks or so. I don't even know. But technically, it shouldn't be, right? Like the first mile should be 8 inches and then squared after that or whatever it is. Like, so it looks very strange, that drone footage and weather balloons.
A lot of people too are missing the implications of the horizon always staying eye level. If you design video games, the only level you could make where that feature is observed is something where it's projecting so close to infinite that the computer is treating it as infinite.
That's right.
But
like
horizon doesn't stay at eye level as you increase in altitude.
No, it goes slightly down, and then
the more you go, the higher you
keeps
go,
up with
the
you.
more it goes down below you. But the thing is,
it doesn't.
Angle.
It stops going down eventually.
Once you can see like as much of the sphere as you can see.
No. That's no.
You do have that limit. You can't see the other side of a sphere.
No. It just goes down.
There's your limit. There's your limit.
Keeps up.
No.
There's no sphere.
Arwen, you're just saying things.
No.
Now
there's
listen.
No sphere.
As you rise up, you can't argue.
There's only the blue marble pictures. That's the only time it's a sphere.
Does it not? Does the horizon get farther away from you as you rise up? It's farther out.
It's Photoshop because it has to be. Why do you think that is?
Arwen, does the horizon go away from you as you rise up, and the distance to the horizon you see more of the surface of the earth as you go up? You're changing your angle slightly
so you see more of the
in comparison. It's a very, very slight
it doesn't
change in the angle.
It doesn't keep on going down.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it really does.
No, after a certain point it stops. And
Dude,
it just comes up with you and keeps on going up.
Watch balloon footage.
Yeah, I have, and that's exactly what I'm trying to.
Do you know when the horizon stops expanding?
As soon as you go up, it should be below you.
Ascending.
No,
the horizon expands until you.
No,
stop
I know exactly what I'm talking
ascending.
about.
You know nothing.
You're just being stubborn. So
sorry to interrupt you guys. Sorry to interrupt your bickering. Sorry. We've been joined by a new guest. Can I just say a quick hello to, let's get his name right, Flat Balls. Good to have you here, Flat Balls.
What's up?
Hello.
Man? Balls out. Very flat today.
Great.
Could somebody plan them to make them round, please?
But yeah, Arjun's interpretation was much more clear than Kurt's.
You know that the horizon expands around you as you raise in elevation, right?
But that's only
do you dispute
like
that,
the line of sight vision, but really after the first mile it should be curving down. So it should always
how do you propose to see that? How do you propose to see
a rise in elevation?
That curvature?
A rise in elevation which will gain vantage on the curvature.
Oh, Jesus. You're not going to see it in that direction. You're not going to see it in the straight line of sight away from you.
footage. Like even a drone footage, like there's a drone going up, 500 meters is enough to just see hundreds of kilometers of flatness.
Whoa, whoa.
Now.
Back that up, please. Back that up, please. What basis do you have to make that claim?
There's no curvature to this realm.
What basis do you have to make that claim, Marcus?
I have a drone myself,
Marcus,
and I've seen it.
How far up, Marcus?
You can go like 500 meters. If you get a good day and go 500 meters with some clouds, you can go up to the clouds and you can see above the clouds. The clouds are just like dead flat for ages.
When you go up 500 meters, how far away should you be able to see? What was that figure you threw out there?
Well,
500 meters. How far should you be able to see?
I don't really care about the science. I'm just saying that's what it looks like, and I know
There's
that.
no curvature.
Didn't you say? What did you
for
say?
assault.
Like
this is their tactic.
1500?
They will halt anything to bait you.
Yeah,
For
it's just tactics. That's right. Like
wait a second. 500 meters up gives you a distance of about 79.9 kilometers to the horizon. How many did
Right, guys, hold
how
up.
many did you claim?
You know what? Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, right? But think about this, right? So when you have a family, and when you're actually like thinking about yourself and stuff, right? And you have a dog. Say if you have a dog and she has kids, right? And you have what? You have puppies, right? What do you have? If she has puppies, what do you have? You have puppies, right?
Yvette has puppies.
Anyway, we've been joined by Paul, who's been talked about earlier. So this was the physicist we were talking about earlier. How are you doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I haven't slept all night.
Oh no. Well, hopefully you'll be on top form. Good to have you here.
Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, carry on.
So how far should you be able to see, Marcus, when you're up 500 meters? Would you like to repeat that figure, or do I have to wait till this is posted and go back in to get the quote?
I don't know, man. Like
what figure?
Meters.
What figure did you derp out?
What did I derp out? Well, I don't know how.
Look
how
at his
far do
screen.
Derp out.
Wait. See, I like how you can see the sun here and exactly where it's like situated behind these sort of clouds here. Like
why is that?
Crepuscular rays, which only are located in a certain tight area.
Oh, in that particular
crepuscular rays
hole in the
aren't
clouds.
strong enough to travel all the way across this city and put them like some up here as well. Like,
okay,
why are crepuscular rays so
Look, you're interested in ways to confuse yourself and the situation.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
You said that if you go up, a drone goes up 500 meters, that you should be able to see clearly for what was that 1,500 kilometers?
This isn't a very good one, but no, I said a couple of 100 kilometers, which is about 100 miles.
A couple hundred.
Does that sound reasonable?
And it's actually just a touch under 80 kilometers.
Oh, so it wasn't too bad. I was 20 miles off.
As you can see, the horizon does expand around you as you rise in elevation. You guys can't argue that. I can't believe anybody's even trying to argue that the distance to the horizon expands around you.
I don't know about this one. How far away do you reckon those clouds are way over there?
What's it matter?
I don't know, man. So you notice how just the shadows on the top of the clouds, it's just this area here that's hot. Even though the sun is in line of sight, and just here it starts getting gray already, like the sun's light actually isn't as powerful.
What's there to stop you from seeing clouds that are much farther away than where they're stopping right there?
Sorry, guys. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to introduce the newest guest, Invalid something or other. How you doing?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, Nate, just so I can tell you face to face, your your bit rate is ridiculous. You don't need to go over 2,000 kilobits per second. You also don't need 60 frames per second. It can be 30 for what you're doing. You're not playing games or anything. So people complain about it in the chat. Just letting you know. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Right? Is that Tim?
Bye-bye now.
Is that Tim talking?
You know, a lot of people talk shit about Tim, but he just came in here and helped us out. You know,
Yeah, but here's the deal, man. Tim, what the fuck? Why are you back?
Yeah, that was probably Tim.
Why are you back, Tim?
Once you go
say
flat,
thanks.
you never go back.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Appreciate it, guy.
Thanks for joining as well. Much obliged.
Okay, so you don't want to deal with that.
Why can't the
Horizon
sun just
issue
shoot that little
anymore.
bit extra? You see, like from here where the sun is, it's line of sight, and then it's just dark here suddenly, just right here. But here is all good. Like it's damn, that sun's pretty powerful. 93 million miles up there shooting. It stopped. Doesn't have the guts to go. Just that little extra couple of 100 Ks, whatever that is here. Not even. That's probably like 50 Ks.
That's okay.
Ever heard of something called specular reflection?
Are you saying the atmosphere is sort of like dimming it?
And
Why
how's
should
the
you see light
exposure?
reflected out there?
Look it up and read the definition. I don't know what it means.
You just had that camera pointing directly at the sun as well. Is there any auto exposure going on?
Come on, man. We're saying the atmosphere, the 93 million miles. That thing should be powerful as shit. Sorry.
Paul's welcome to deal with your games and incredulity and all that kind of crap. If you don't have anything serious to say, I'm not going to be addressing you. You can talk. I'm not telling you not to talk. I'm just saying, I'm not messing around with you. This is silly. I'm tired. I'm tired of your
You're scared of me. You're scared.
Some people
because I
don't
always
like to see
point
reality.
in the right direction. I always
tired of your
pick you
trolling.
about your
The sun
gravity
is
and
just
your
over
momentum.
there
You can't take
shining
it.
I'm
upon
tired of you just making up
There's a
stories,
clear
throwing
sky.
out figures that are wrong.
There's a clear sky.
When
Right, while you're all talking over each other, I'll introduce our latest new
Pushing
guest,
buttons.
who's called...
Sorry, Nathan.
I can't even pronounce that. Gandhi. That'll do, I can pronounce that. How you doing, Gandhi?
I'm okay, thanks.
Good to have you here, my friend. Thanks for being here.
I'm just
So,
I give up. Just
Are we at a breaking point?
For what?
Of what?
You got the floor, Hank.
Yeah, so where do we go from here? You know, a lot of the debaters are burnt out, and a lot of people are saying that the debate's over, you know, and I'm sure that the flatties are convinced that they've won, and the globies are convinced that they've won, but, you know, where do we move on to? Like, you know, is there ever going to be a consensus? I doubt it, but, you know, what can we do from here? I mean, can we work together to figure things out? I mean, when there's dishonesty, it doesn't help, you know, and I guess you can always count on humans to be dishonest, but, you know, can we ever come to common ground and just be like, hey, we're going to keep looking both sides and, you know, share our stuff? Because, well, almost finished. Because I've noticed that, you know, the ego's get in the way of progress, and, you know, I'm right and you're wrong attitude is, you know, not getting us anywhere. And I was just wondering if everybody could just, you know, put their egos down and put on their lab coats and their thinking hats, you know, is that a possibility? Continue.
Yeah, I agree. We need to stop the crabs in the bucket mentality. I'm seconding that.
Me too. And I think like not like this is high level. We're thinking like people don't, you know, some of the stuff that comes out of people's mouths here makes people sound dumb, but actually the stuff we're talking about here, guys, is very technical. And like, I don't think we'll ever be able to move forward as a society together unless we can even come down to backwards, away from this planet and God stuff, like backwards down to like color of skin kind of stuff, and fat and skinny, ugly, beautiful kind of shit stuff. Like I don't think until we can even get that kind of basic stuff down, there's absolutely no point debating what shape the Earth is if we can't get simple stuff like that down.
Can I just say a quick hello to our latest guest?
That video of yours
We've been joined by, what's his name? How do you say that? Neatly. How you doing, my friend? Hello. No? Okay. I think it might be the same guy as before, just he's just turned his camera off and we've got his avatar this time.
Yeah, same name.
Sorry. My apologies.
No problem. It's weird. I hear something from him, but like he's trying, but it's not coming through.
And sorry. Also, like I feel like some of the technical guys out there, like scientists and stuff, would obviously get not only offended, but a little bit worried about where their sort of future is held. And like, I mean, as me being part flat earther, trying to debunk myself, but sort of being unable to slowly, it's not like I would come down on NASA. If suddenly I was given control of government, it's not like I'd be like, sack everyone in NASA right now.
NASA. What does NASA have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Well, they're the ones spoon feeding us
Before
the
you answer
ball.
that, True Seeker, sorry.
No, they're not.
I just want to introduce Brenda. How you doing, Brenda?
That's really funny. I found that question comical. What does NASA have to do with the shape of the Earth? I mean, it's on every iPhone. It's on every school book for like the past 50 years.
Yeah,
they don't control it. They don't control the shape of the Earth. It's easily observable for all of us. You guys refuse to do it.
I personally
it's not only
think
been it's not only been in textbooks for the last 50 years, for the last 100, 200.
I think it's also like if you just say, all right, it's God, it's flat, it's just how it is. Like, what do you learn from that? Like, personally, I feel like NASA is a way. Might be propaganda, but like it does get your mind going a little bit. Like, I mean, we do have stars out there every night. I've seen Saturn. Sorry, Truth, but I'm sort of blabbing here. But like, I mean, it could be a propaganda tool to make us really like think smarter, feel smarter, feel hope, and
it's therapy. It's cultural therapy.
So
kind of.
To keep
So how
people busy doing things to make them feel important.
So
I couldn't agree
Preserve
more.
their intellectual heritage.
Yeah.
That's there.
So you see planets, they're balls, they're spheres of Earth in the sky, and they have moons that circle around them.
I've never seen a sphere in the sky.
How does that fit in?
I've never seen a sphere in the sky.
With your flat Earth.
I have never seen a sphere. In the
I wasn't
sky.
talking to you. I was talking to Make.
We see the flat front of the moon and a sort of flat-looking front of the sun, or something like that. But how does
It's not true. That's not true. We don't. We see the Earth, the moon. The moon is tidally locked with the Earth, but it isn't perfect. And there are times when you see a little bit more of the moon than you see the rest of the time. Isn't that correct, Paul? Isn't that correct? That sometimes
that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I know.
So how is that possible?
We can go
with
through
a flat, how is that possible with a flat projection?
That's like.
How can that be possible?
Can we see
evidence?
Can we see evidence that this is in fact the case? Can you present?
Can you
evidence?
explain to me the phases of a disc, please?
Like,
yes,
what? Okay. I'll give you a theory here. Here's a way out of this world theory. What if like it's just a big? Sorry, Truth. What if it's a big TV screen? It's just a big TV screen. That's my excuse.
What if you're a brain in a vat? What if you're a brain in a vat?
Sorry, let's just talk to our new guest. Sean, can you mute your page that you joined?
Truth.
Before you joined the page that you were watching, you need to mute that. No, not the page you're on now. The page you were on, the watch page.
Yeah. Don't have the video YouTube channel and the Google Hangout going at the same time.
I will mute
Or you're
it and
gonna
hang
have
out
a
as well,
bad
eh?
time.
There we go.
Well, you just hear a lot of noise.
He'll figure it out, don't worry. But when he does, just say hi, Sean. I've muted you in
So,
the Hangout.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
figured it out, just say hello and I'll introduce you.
Can't hear him.
I've now muted
His
you.
mic.
There we go.
There you go. Ah, brilliant. We're there. How you doing, Sean? Good to have you here,
Not
my
too
friend.
bad, mate. Not too bad.
Excellent.
Been listening to
Thanks
the
for
show for a
being
little while now, so I thought I'll have a join in. Never done this before, so you know.
It's all good. Everyone on the panel was really tolerant, so very patient of them. Thank you for
Thank God for
bearing
that.
with Sean.
No, they're not. They're actually not. Flat earthers are the most bigoted, intolerant people I've ever met.
See,
They're worse.
actually,
They're
we're
worse.
not. Now we're
They're worse than the race realists.
Sean, Brenda,
I think we're all
Sean.
equal.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's my experience. It's what I experience.
That's fair play.
But
That's fair play.
at the same time, I can propose questions to you that you can't answer.
Yeah. Who's playing?
So,
music?
but you'll just be bigoted and say, "Oh well, it's in the book, and that's our models are heading towards that direction, and we think that's what's going to be the answer."
What's a question that has to do with the shape of the Earth that cannot be answered?
Curved water. Where is there curved
Gravity.
ocean?
What does gravity
The
have
fact
to
that-
do with the curvature of the Earth?
I just went through this with Paul, and Paul sort of just shrugs it off, to be honest.
No, bullshit. That is not true,
why-
mate, for you. Know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right?
just to
Strong
clarify
enough
for
that-
the
that's
audience,
nonsense.
Make Four
It's
is
all perfect.
lying out of his ass right now.
No. Well, see, these are the kind of things that we
That's a
say
really
to each other.
dickheaded thing of you to do.
He is.
Two swear
You
words
think
in a
you're
row.
joking
Goodbye.
around. You think you're funny.
I
You're
told
being a
you. I
complete
told
cunt
you
right
that
now.
that's what you would do, mate. For.
No, well, I'm saying
Didn't I
that
say
you.
that that's what you were going to do?
He's more
But I'm
triggered
not.
than Dugu.
I'm.
He's a
yeah, you guys
lying,
get pretty triggered.
disingenuous twat.
Just because
Can I ask
I
you-
have things that I say that don't make sense to you, and you sort of
You're
now you second
lying.
guess yourself.
You're
No.
lying.
Okay. Do you want me to? Do we want to go through the whole dust collecting
I want you to
situation
go
through
to
the
hell.
universe?
I want
I know
you
you
to
do.
go to hell.
I know you do. I
Do
hate
it now.
Hey, cool it down, curved water, man.
Screw yourself, Arwen.
Well,
I love you,
swearing.
Curved.
I don't know what
Curved,
happened, but it sounds like Make Four has been.
He's lying.
I
He's
love
lying.
Curved. I would have a beer with you, even though you hate me being like this. But I do have to push the question of what,
No,
how
you don't
did
have
dust?
to lie about you don't have to
Okay,
lie about
geez,
your
stop pushing
experience
me,
with Paul. That is
Oh, he's
really,
giving me some
really
good
low of
answers.
you. That's really
No,
low
it's not
of you.
low.
It is.
Fuck.
You're
You just
lying.
called him a whole bunch of insults.
You were given the
a whole bunch of
explanation, mate.
baseless
For
insults.
you were given the explanation.
All you gave me was that momentum is working against gravity, and that the what was it? The
No,
Roche.
I did not say that at all. You said that. That's not what I said.
You said that was part of the factor that was keeping us from smashing into each other.
I kept on telling you that momentum had nothing to do with it.
No, you said momentum was quite a big part.
No, I
okay,
did
so
not.
what is it that's keeping us apart?
Apart from what?
From
How
gravity
did dust
making us
collect over the universe and then decide to make a solar system where the sun would be the greatest point of gravity, but all those little bits of dust out on the outer edges didn't actually come into the sun like they did originally in the first place. And there's no resistance in that vacuum there.
What are you talking about?
And apparently we just start spinning around.
He's asking why is everything in equilibrium up there?
Up
Pretty
where?
much. Like these questions that like it's what?
Well, there's context that I'm missing. I'm sorry. There's context that I'm missing.
This is
We're
called an
spinning-
argument from incredulity. He doesn't understand how it works, so it must be fake.
Just while we've
Not
had
that,
a,
it's not
just
that.
while we've
It's
had a
actually,
network
I do
error. Sorry, just while we've
understand.
had a quick network error. Could you stop screen sharing, Mate 4, just so we don't give the audience epilepsy?
Sorry.
That's all right.
But so the moon doesn't rotate. We rotate a little bit more than 360 degrees, which means eventually the moon should start rotating, should it not?
The moon
The
does.
moon rotates.
The moon does
Sorry,
rotate.
at 10
You
miles
told
an
that.
hour.
You told the moon rotates. The moon
You know what I
rotates
meant?
once per orbit. I told you that.
Right. Is it going to get faster like we've gone past 360 degrees? Is it going to get faster?
You've been dude.
No,
that's a
but
lot
the
of
moon
rate of
is
speed.
traveling further away from
Oh
the
my
Earth.
God.
He is so
Allegedly.
trolling right now.
As
He
time
has
passes.
been through all of
The
this.
answer?
Take 4 has been through all of this.
He-
He's talked about all of this.
We've been
He's
through
an
that.
absolute troll.
No, but no, I'm asking, does he think the moon will start rotating more than what it does now?
Before that gets an answer, we've been joined by a new guest. Part-time vegan, how you doing, my friend? Earth to part-time vegan.
Wow, the real part-time vegan.
Ron Burgundy's back again. It's funny how you guys are. It's the same people back here. Like, you are actually all paid to do this.
Look at the platties on the panel.
You're back here, Make 4.
Internet hobbyists. They're internet hobbyists. Guys.
Keep arguing against yourselves.
Against ourselves. I'm arguing with a physicist right now, actually, about
No,
this.
you're arguing with yourself.
You're not arguing.
Well, okay, so you assume that it's not going to rotate any more than what it does now. Is that what you said? No, we can't part-time.
Nope, no volume, man. And you're not muted right now. Make sure you got the right mic selected.
Yeah, let me just give a quick, I'm really sorry, Hank. Let me just give a quick explanation, because there's going to be people who join that don't know what they're doing. So if you're on a PC, just wave your mouse over the Hangout page. At the top, there's a cog. Click that cog, and it's self-explanatory. Make sure you've selected the right mic. Sorry, carry on, guys. That's it. Hopefully he'll sort himself out. If not, that's it.
Also, at the top right corner of the page, under the X, I think there's a little thing that you can click. It's a very small button, and it'll say allow Google Hangouts to access your microphone and camera. Make sure that's selected as well.
Big Brother appreciates this.
So yeah, like the whole perpetual, which it's just perpetually going around us, and like there's no resistance, so it should be getting faster. So our days should be changing.
No. No resistance should be getting faster. That doesn't follow. That's a non sequitur.
Okay, so it
Why
stays
should
the
it
same
be getting
speed
faster?
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. And apart from it's in an elliptical orbit, so it does change velocity a little bit because it gets closer and further a little bit. So
Same speed in no resistance. That doesn't really make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Well, what force is acting on it? Why doesn't? Yeah.
Wouldn't gravity slow it down?
Do you know what Newton's first law is?
Wouldn't gases spewing through the vacuum hit that planet sometimes? Wouldn't meteors put it off
Object
track?
in motion always stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside force.
Yeah,
Even
we have.
Hank understands. Hank understands.
How did the moon form? Sorry, how did the moon form? And how did all the dust come together? The dust just decided to stop coming together, and they locked in planets in a solar system and started spinning. Is that for real?
All he's doing is sabotaging the Hangout, keeping it away from any kind of a flat Earth discussion.
He is. We've been through all of this with you, Make 4. We've been through this before.
But you can't really answer that. You can't really answer.
We did. We answered it hours ago.
Yeah.
You can't answer why the dust stopped.
The time to disagree was then, when you were going along with everything.
The dust just stopped.
If you have a learning disability, that cannot be resolved here.
Bigger dusts have bigger gravities, and they just stopped.
Idiot.
And there's two big dusts, and they're pulling on each other, and they stopped.
Hank understands this, Mick. Hank understands. Why don't you?
Hey, change your topic.
Actually, I think Hank's very on the fence still. He just doesn't like to admit it the same way I do.
He just gave the answer that you couldn't answer. You weren't listening because you were busy trolling.
I'm sorry. It's just the way we are. Curve starts talking at me, and I get a bit aggravated.
So maybe we can talk to Arwen about
why he's here.
Misunderstandings of perspective.
He's there to trigger people.
Perspective?
Yeah, Arwen doesn't understand perspective.
I understand perspective very, very well.
No, I understand it perfectly.
Oh, all right, Sean, what do you have to add then?
Sorry to interrupt. Let's just try part-time vegan
Yeah,
again.
we should hear from Sean. He's been very quiet.
Well, I'm not neither or. I've just been looking into bits and pieces. Like I said, most of it on the internet. So we're not actually getting any new. You know what I mean? We're not getting anything new. Everything that's been
sorry, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, Sean. I know you've been patiently waiting.
Well, no, of course not.
I just want to check if this guest isn't
not
going to ruin our
actually
hangout. I'm sorry, Sean, to interrupt you.
We've not actually
Hold on. Let Nathan talk. He's trying to get
I just want
Go
to
on,
make
mate.
sure this guest can actually talk and will be a real guest as opposed to somebody that's going to do something horrible. I know you've been waiting patiently, Sean. Can you just say
Who's that?
something?
No,
please?
I'm all good, mate. I'm not here to sabotage anything.
No, not you.
Oh.
Far from it.
Part-time. He's talking about part-time, I think.
Yeah, for the time
Yeah,
being.
I've been doing sort of little bits of research part time, not as a sort of full on like flat Earth or anything like that.
Fair enough.
But perspective is one thing I do know about because I've been a photographer for about 25 years, and perspective has a lot of play within that.
Yeah, perspective has to do with angular size, right?
Yes.
And things get smaller when they go into the distance.
Yes, they do.
And do things become obstructed when they recede away from us?
Yes, they do.
By
And
what?
by distance.
How does distance?
Well, that's one thing I was going to say. I've been on a boat or ship many miles out, and I myself have seen lighthouses that have been 120-ish miles away with a zoom lens.
Right.
But I can see the base. So we're talking the base of the actual lighthouse. You know,
Okay. How does perspective obstruct the bottom of an object?
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't.
How does perspective do it? Oh, you're saying it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't.
Oh, I was under the understanding just a minute ago that you said it did.
Right.
Well, no, perspective will always follow lines. It will always follow a straight line.
Correct.
Top, bottom, sides. It will always follow a straight line.
Correct.
In regard to whatever you're doing. So if you take a photo of, say, something that's 20 miles away, like you were saying earlier, theoretically, you should not be able to see the base of it. Correct?
Maybe.
I
It
don't know
depends on your viewer height.
Right. If you're, say, water level, for instance. If you're on...
What do you mean water level?
If you're on the shore of a beach, for instance, and you have a ship that's 20 odd miles out, theoretically, you should be able to see it with the naked eye.
You should be, depending on the size. Oh, well, maybe not naked eye. I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, no, carry on.
Let me ask a question. If I'm on top of a mountain and I have really good glass, I've got a good telescope, and I look and I see a distant a city 20 miles away. I can see the skyscrapers from the bottom, from the street to the very top.
Yes.
Then I climb down the mountain. I go down to the beach.
Yeah.
I'm sufficiently far enough away. I look at the same skyscraper. I can't see the street level anymore. I can see part of the skyscraper. Is that obstruction due to perspective?
Honestly, I can't answer that without doing it myself.
Wouldn't it?
But you, like I said, the higher levitation, the higher you levitate, you will see further, obviously.
Right.
Okay, but we're talking about perspective here, and you know quite a bit about it. And we're asking how is the bottom cut off by perspective, and you said it didn't. And then when you were posed with a scenario, where it's claimed that perspective is doing just that, well, you had to stop and you got to see it yourself.
Can we let him finish his initial example of what he was saying?
Well,
basically, what I was saying was, how can you see a ship 20 miles away from shoreline?
Angular resolution is going to be one of the main factors, and visibility in the atmosphere.
Where does the curve come in?
That's basically what I'm saying.
All right, how much of the ship are you seeing when it's 20 miles away? I'd like to see that.
How big is the ship? What is it? Is it a rowboat? Is it a rowboat? A canoe?
No.
Or is it an aircraft carrier?
How have you determined that you're seeing all of it?
I can see the level of the water where the boat is sitting in it.
You see what you think is the level of the water where the boat is sitting in it. Do you have any kind of, you're a photographer, do you have photographs of this by any chance?
Not on this PC, no. Well, when I say PC, on my wife's laptop.
Uh-huh.
It's a PC.
But yeah, it's a notebook, actually, but yeah.
Have you photographed what it is you're talking about since you were looking through, what, a zoom lens, you said?
Yeah.
Did you bother to snap the pic?
No.
You were looking through a camera at the ship and you did not photograph.
Oh, no. I did snap the pic, yeah.
Okay, well, you just said no. So, okay, so you could probably provide this at some point in the future.
Yes.
That would be interesting to see. I'd like to know more about it.
Did you snap the same ship when it was close?
No.
We've been joined by
what have you got to compare
Negator.
it with?
Sorry, Paul. We've been joined by Negator XX. Very pleased to have you here. Oh, has he dropped already?
Hello.
I know he's screen sharing something. There we go. Over the horizon. You're being screen shared, Neg, even if you're a silent participant.
Yeah, like I said, I'm neither a flatty or a balleth. I'm just doing.
Well, what do you consider to be the strongest argument against a spherical Earth?
Well, without physically doing my own research and like testing different theories and stuff like that, I don't. And I'm not going to claim that I do. I'm not an astrophysicist. I don't claim to know everything about everything. I like the theory of it, but there are so many different things that have, I don't know, been posted over the last, 3 or 4 years that have been controversial. So, it's just a matter of doing the things for yourself and then coming back with an answer.
What kind of camera do you have?
I did have a 1DS Mark 1. 1DS Mark 2.
Oh, you don't have a camera anymore? Oh.
No, times are hard.
Oh, okay. I see. You were forced to sell it? You were forced to sell it?
Yeah.
That's too bad. That's too bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, trust me, I'm going to get another one.
We've been joined by Pete Shea. Very pleased to have you here, Pete.
Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Go.
How you doing, Sean? Can I just came in really to say you're still on the fence, but you realise that you mentioned being able to see in a lighthouse from over 100 miles away. But how could you remain on the fence? I don't give it out to you or anything, but how can you remain on the fence after that when that bus is low Earth mass and pretty much can be used with everything else to throw the globe out the window? So I'm just curious how you can sort of still be betwixt and between.
I'm anxiously awaiting that photograph as well.
I think that's actually on YouTube. On YouTube.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was that did it.
So it's not a photograph you took.
No.
What about the lighthouse that you saw?
The lighthouse isn't.
Okay.
The lighthouse one was, I can't remember who it was, but it is on YouTube. But
what was the lighthouse that you saw down to the base from over 100 miles away or whatever it was he said?
Oh, no, that was on YouTube. That was part of the research I was doing.
So you haven't been out in the wild?
No, I haven't done that much.
I saw it on YouTube and that was research.
Yeah. Yes. I that's the bane of our age, Paul.
Wow, I really got the impression that you were out there on the boat and you saw this by the way you were telling the story.
No, I have, but like I say, I have been out on a boat and I have been sort of, I don't know, probably 50, 60 miles out and still been able to see shoreline.
Sure.
But that's, but that's something I can't prove. And, I don't like saying things that I can't put forward as proof. You know what I mean?
But
that's called anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, that must be the reason why you brought it up then. Because you don't like to do that kind of thing, so you just did it.
No, that's it.
Well, there's all kinds of questions to do with that, like how high up were you? where there's a lot of questions that immediately raise themselves. Were there mirage conditions? What was going on?
So we have just tipped over the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to first and foremost thank everybody for sharing the show, as there's 120 people watching, so massive thank you to all who shared the show. If you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, which is about 50% of the viewing audience, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, so toss me a buck or two if you're enjoying the stream. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are watching currently on mute, click that link to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. And number 2, if you are ejected for swearing, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Once again, if you've not done so already, please share the show on Facebook, Skype, Twitter, and all the other social media platforms you have at your disposal. And again, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Situations whereby perspective might cause the bottom of an object to be obstructed by perspective. Didn't you insinuate that could be the case at times? That perspective could cause that?
Well, it depends on what you're looking at.
How so?
Well, for instance,
help me track with you, see what you're thinking.
I think it was the earlier show that Nathan had earlier on today that someone showed some pylons.
Oh, the Lake Pontchartrain?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that shows clearly shows curvature.
Yeah,
right?
I showed that photograph today, and I busted it. Yeah, no curvature, just illusion.
Right, hang on.
You did no such thing.
I did.
I've talked with Pete about that one too before.
Can we try part-time vegan again?
I think on YouTube there is a video of a guy.
Can we try? Sorry, guys. Can we try part-time vegan again? Because I'm just literally having to constantly be on the photographs because I don't know what he's going to do unless he says something.
What up, part-time? Can you speak?
When you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, part-time. You've had your chance, but I just can't keep transitioning back and forth from the photos, so I'm going to have to boot you, I'm afraid. Really sorry. Try again next time. Sorry, guys, you carry on. Really apologetic for interrupting so many times.
That's all right, you carry on.
So, how did perspective cause what you're claiming there?
Right, well, the photo that was brought up earlier was off to the left of the pylons. Now,
show it again.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, what I'm saying is that there's a guy on YouTube that's done a plot of those actual pylons across the lake, and they are not in a line.
You know that he was lying, don't you?
I know the one you're talking about, and he was looking at the wrong pylons.
Yeah, he knew better too. He was lying, Sean. He was deliberately.
That's right.
He was deliberately lying in order to deceive you. He lied.
Okay, well, in which case,
he knew better.
It
wasn't just that he was mistaken. He knew better and he lied.
All right. So how does perspective cause the effect that we see in Soundly's images that you're referring to here? Can you please tell me how perspective causes that obstruction?
If you've got a structure and you're seeing curve, and you're not physically zooming in on it, then you will see some kind of I suppose hazing, if you like, at the base of whatever you're taking a photo of.
Well, you know he was zooming in, right? For one thing. That's how you get to see the distance that he has in those photographs.
Yeah, I know, but no. What I'm saying is there's no proof that those pylons were straight.
We have we have the blueprints. We have the blueprints, dude.
And again, I'm not asking you to challenge the veracity or anything like that of the photographs. I'm asking you specifically about perspective, because you're a photographer and you know quite a bit about perspective.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not misquoting you there, right?
No, you're not.
Okay, so can you please limit your answer to perspective, at least for the moment? How does perspective cause the bottom of objects to be obstructed?
Only by a haze. Or the limits of your lens.
That's not perspective.
Well, of course it is, because if your lens will not go out further than what you're looking at, it will not bring to a point.
Haze isn't perspective. Take an imaginary planet, an imaginary plane. It's perfectly flat. It's infinitely flat. There is no haze at all. And you have a line of telephone poles receding in the distance.
Right.
Right. So the surface is completely flat, infinitely flat. The line of telephone poles is infinitely long. You look at that with a camera or your eye. What is going to obstruct any part of any of those telephone poles? There's nothing else on the landscape. Nothing else.
The only well, in that case, the only thing that can get in the way would be curve.
Would be curve?
So,
yeah.
Right.
But
that
is the only thing.
Right.
But this is flat. Yeah. She said.
I stipulated that it was perfectly flat.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not like I said, I'm not flat and I'm not round. I'm
but you know quite a bit about perspective.
Let me answer. You have a limited range to your vision, right? Or the equipment that you use is going to be limited.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
That's some weak
no, so what would you see then, Brenda, if you had unlimited vision and it went on for an infinite length with the telephone poles? What would you expect?
You would see the line of telephone poles from the base to the top receding in the distance and converging on a vanishing point. And then in this example, on a perfectly flat plane with no obstructions, no haze, and no rocks, no mountains, anything, no matter how much you zoomed in on it, you would always see that vanishing point. You would always see the entirety of every telephone pole.
Would you have a vanishing point if you had unlimited vision?
If I had unlimited, I don't know what you mean by unlimited vision.
I
have unlimited vision. I have unlimited vision.
Well, in the sense that we do have limits of angular resolution.
Oh, that limit, yes.
That limit.
But Pete thinks that we can only see so far.
And that is going to be the limit here in the scenario that we're discussing right now is angular resolution.
Right, I can only see.
You don't lose part of the telephone pole due to perspective.
I can only see as far as the lens in my eye can resolve.
Right, now introduce atmospheric conditions into.
That's not perspective. That's not perspective. We're dealing with people claiming perspective.
Right. Then that line of telephone poles would disappear into a haze.
Right. From what point?
Well, I don't know what you mean by from what point.
I think he means from how many miles out, or how far your vision is out.
How soon does it start distorting?
It would depend on how much moisture was in the air.
Ah, and what if you weren't on dry land? You were on water. Would we have to take in further considerations into account? Like
not really. If we presume that the water is perfectly flat, there's no waves, then it would make little difference. There would be more water vapor close to the surface.
Actual water surface itself would behave like a mirror after a certain acuteness of angle, right? And zoom.
Yeah, is that perspective, Pete? Is that perspective?
Well, okay.
Is that perspective, Pete? Can you at least acknowledge the fact that no, it's not curved?
Well, it kind of has to do with perspective, right? It's what you're seeing over distance.
Now what you're trying to say is curved. I'm about to be a little bit dishonest here, and I'm going to try to, talk my way out of it. Right?
You don't have to be dishonest, curved. You don't have to try to be dishonest anyway.
Pete.
Yeah.
You're very transparent. You're very transparent.
How long have you been a Freemason, Curved?
A Freemason?
Yeah.
Ever since they let me out.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
He's got you now, Curved.
You just got to ask the right question. It's, are you a traveling man? Are you a traveling man? That's what you have to ask.
Surely he is.
No, I'm actually driving.
How old's your grandmother, bro?
I think Brenda's a traveling tranny.
Nathan, are there any
Don't make me
limits
ban
on
you,
here?
Pete.
Because
Pete, don't make me boot you out. Come on.
I can let it fly.
God, come on. That's what the heck. That's what
Come
is
on,
that?
Pete.
What?
Why don't you grow up a little bit,
That's what she
Pete?
claims to be. Why is that a dirty word now? Come on.
Come on, Pete. You're 87 years old. Act at least half your age.
87?
He looks 87.
Come on.
I don't think he's 87.
He looks 87.
I think we're close in age.
What are you in your 60s, Brenda? You said.
Yes. 1957. Pete.
Right.
He's 10 years older than me.
I can remember.
Yeah. So what does
I don't want to get sidetracked.
what does NASA have to do with the shape of the Earth then?
What does NASA have to do with the shape of the Earth? Nothing.
They don't control it. They can't hide it.
They don't control
We can
textbooks.
figure it
either.
out. We can figure it out for ourselves. We don't need NASA.
They're the only people we've seen the shape of the Earth from, NASA, right?
Not necessarily, no.
So if they're a bunch of liars, well, then they have
What-
sort of something to do with the face or the shape of
Well,
the Earth.
we don't have to rely
ESA,
on them.
JAXA, we don't have anything from them. The Electra L satellite from Russia, we don't have anything from them.
Don't worry, eh?
If NASA were proven liars, we know there's collaboration that goes on between these international. Right?
You began that with an if, Pete.
I said if we know that they're liars, yeah.
You understand that? Yeah, you began that with
But you're
an if.
doubting it. You're doubting it, or you're saying that even if we knew they had lied, that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
Pete,
Well,
you
we have-
began that with an if.
We have individual people who have taken pictures. Individual people who have private businesses, which is their business to go put things into orbit. There are people, individuals. You, if you raised up enough money, could launch a camera, a GoPro, or any camera you wanted, and put it up high enough to see the curvature of the Earth.
Oh no! If I had enough money, Brenda, I'd save it for a ramshackle vagina.
I really hope he kicks you for that, Pete. I really do.
Oh, it's,
Come on.
anyway.
Disgusting individual.
All this flat earth talk gets a bit serious.
You're a disgusting
Well, you know-
individual.
I call you the C word, Pete, but you lack the warmth and the depth.
Come on, that's not
nice.
I think we're getting off track.
Okay, so we were talking about like gravity before, and we were sort of got onto the topic of Saturn and its moons for a little bit, and all those dusty rocks that are sort of like floating around Saturn magically as well.
What's your problem?
Not magic.
Saturn's pretty easy to see on like a fairly cheap ass telescope.
Yeah, I did when I was. I worked really hard when I was like, I don't know, 7th or 8th grade. I sold all kinds of, I don't remember what it was, candy or something, and I saved up and I bought myself a 1.5-inch reflector telescope, and I could see the rings of Saturn. It was
Pretty magical.
Fantastic.
So
No, it wasn't
like,
magical at all. I was also reading Einstein at the time, so no, it was not magic. I'm not like that. I'm not
pretty
like you. I
magical.
don't.
So like I'm
No, it's not
waiting
magical.
for that time when we get like a live feed of Saturn sometimes, and you can see the moon like orbiting and smashing into all those rocks, and you can see those rocks like floating there, being all like asteroid belt. You know, like when's that going to happen? And do the rocks affect the orbit of the moon at all? Are they going to shoot off somewhere? We could see rocks shooting off all the time. I imagine.
What rocks?
The
What
moons
rocks are
would
you
be
talking
smashing
about?
into the rocks
What
and the
rocks are
dust
you
there.
talking about? What rocks are you
The
talking
rocks that fall out of his brain skull.
Oh, is it just dust? Is it just dust? Now,
You know,
we got some close-up images of that. You think like there's some pretty clear ones. I wonder how clear they get, how well you can see that
you can
dust.
see Saturn with the P900. You can see the planet. You can see the rings. You can make that out. I'm sure flat earthers have P900s, right? Many
Just
of
some
them
of these like just
have been able to
NASA.gov.
see Saturn themselves. It doesn't take that much of a telescope to see Jupiter and the moons of Jupiter orbiting.
It's strange that you can
Jupiter.
just get like that little cheap-ass telescope and see the rings, but we need Cassini to go all the way past it just to get that really good view of it.
Well, why don't you take a look at the
that
view
sounds
that
like a
you
bit of a
get
waste of
from a
money, actually.
P900 or a 100x magnification and compare? I didn't say it was crystal clear just like you're there. I'm saying you can see the planet. You can make out the shape of the planet and the rings with a P900. cheap telescope,
Cool.
you can see Jupiter and the moon.
So,
It's orbiting.
so we can see Saturn with a P900 camera, a $500 camera, but we had to send a whole damn satellite there just to get those clear
As I
images that
said.
Cassini sent back.
Oh, Make 4. What a
compare
load of
the
nonsense.
images.
Try taking think of this, Make 4. Take a photograph of a car from 2 kilometres away and see how clear a picture you get. Don't you think you'd be able to take a clearer photo if you went closer to the car?
Yeah, it's so weird. All these advertising agencies bring cars into their studio in order to photograph them when they could just take them from miles away. I mean, that's just so weird.
Yeah.
Guys
Why do
are
we need to
smart.
go right close?
Like, P900 compared to like the most powerful telescope we have, I'm quite sure there's a difference there. But instead, we had to just build a rocket thing and
Did
send
you figure that out all by yourself? Did you? That there's
I
a difference
figured it
between a
out.
P900 and a 19-inch reflector.
Can you tell me why Saturn's rings stay there perfectly?
This is really
Is this shifting the
flat Earth
goalposts?
stuff
Why didn't they use Hubble?
You're switching
why didn't they use
the arena.
Hubble to film Saturn. Why didn't they use the Hubble telescope? Is it too sort of close? Is that the reason they gave?
You'd have to ask Paul. He might know. I don't.
I mean, plenty of money was
Yes,
thrown into that,
probably.
right? So it's too close. Okay. So something a few miles up above the Earth can't zoom in on something 60 million miles away or whatever because it's too close. It's hilarious, isn't it?
I don't know what the decision was. Maybe
I'm really waiting.
Incredulity. I think you
Waiting
need
for
to
some
think
live
about incredulity because you seem to be too credible.
I'm waiting.
Maybe
for
they
some
just
Right.
maybe they just felt
Credulous.
No,
live
maybe they
feeds
just
where you see gases
Hey,
and
Marcus,
rocks smashing through
Marcus,
the
is
atmosphere.
this what you
but
want to
no,
see?
no.
You like this? Are you
Hey.
satisfied with the quality
No.
of this? Here,
Is that a P900?
that's a P900 looking at Saturn.
Damn, dude!
Yes.
Why did we send Cassini all that way? What a waste of money.
Yeah, for
You
a
see,
better.
Oh, we've already been through this. You know why.
you see a difference just on that alone, and there's much.
We can see it that good. So what do our telescopes look at it like? It
That's
must be
not that
easily as
good.
good as Cassini.
I
It's
said
just
you
a
can
troll.
make out
With
the
the-
shape of the planet and
Just
the
a
wings.
troll.
That's it.
I'm
You
not just
are an
troll.
absolute waste of life.
No, I'm
I
actually
don't
not.
think
NASA
I don't
is.
think
Nathan, he deserves
I don't
to be
think
kicked
he's
for
even
that.
a
All I
flat
said was
earther.
ramshackled vagina. He said someone is
You
a
are-
waste of
I
life.
don't think he's even a flat earther.
I actually pretty
He's a
much
troll
am.
regardless. He's a troll.
I'm
regardless.
a anti-gravity person right now. What's up? Because
How
your
can you
gravity.
be-
You're high, in other words. Make 4.
Well, I'm
You
about to
can't
go and
have
smoke one.
anti-gravity. You can't have anti-gravity if gravity isn't real.
Smoke speed, he must be an
how many-
absolute
How many bowls have you had in the last week?
Man, just today I've had like a few. It's good, right? Like,
How
you
many
guys drink
bowls?
alcohol?
Hubble telescope image. Hubble
Do you-
telescope
are you,
image of
I can't
Jupiter.
tell-
Are you gamblers? Like,
I can't tell the difference.
Are we taking shots at people's lives now? Oh, really
Gee, I
affects
can't
your
tell
brain.
the difference between that Hubble telescope image of Jupiter and the one that I take
Wow.
with the B900.
Look at that
Yeah.
shit. You sorry, but I don't care if I get kicked out. I'm sick of you guys. Because look at
Well,
that.
you
You,
guys-
I told you this is the way it would go.
Have a good day, Marcus.
Make it in your
Hey,
stride.
Good luck finding South, dude. Good luck finding South.
No, Marcus, there you are, man. Take it in your stride.
He didn't answer how many bowls he's
the
had
dust,
the past week.
guys. The
Many
dust
have you
stopped.
had,
It collected. It made a sun. It made an earth, and it stopped. Gravity
what's
was
your
like, no,
favorite-
we're done, dudes. We're done.
What's your favorite-
rotate, guys.
What's
Stop it.
what's with the stop? What's with the
Stick in
stop
orbit.
bit?
That's the stop. Gravity stops working. We're not attracted anymore.
He's
We've
troll.
got enough
He's a
dust
troll.
together.
Ignore him. Ignore
We've
him.
got
He's a
enough
troll.
gases together. There's
So
the
Hank
center of this
Troll.
thing, and it just stopped working. Pluto, just do what you do out there, bro. You're all good.
Hey, Hank Hill, I heard you the other day on Nathan's, and the topic of azimuth of the sunrise was being discussed. Are you there, Hank? Well, if you're not there, I'm not going to talk to you. I'll wait for you.
If you're not there, I'm not going to discuss it with you.
I mean, I'm stubborn, but not that stubborn. I can wait for you to return.
Well, maybe Neality has something to contribute. He has a different perspective.
be nice.
Maybe he looks to be Middle Eastern, and maybe he has a different take on everything.
Whoa, did you guys feel that? I think I just felt a gravitational wave come from a black hole. Hang on.
That was your boyfriend, hon.
Wow.
Wow.
It affected my vision, man. It just swayed in front of my vision. You know, all the light just bent.
Wow.
Made his eyes pop out.
Do you want to talk more about perspective, Sean?
No, I think I'm done.
I think so.
Sorry, mate. that's just done me. Sorry.
It's almost like I'm pushed. It's like I want to fall off the earth and go out and fly, but I'm being sucked down at the same time. This momentum and gravity thing is just tripping me out. I don't know what I weigh anymore.
Well, don't succumb to gravity. That's all I can say. Don't succumb to.
Yeah, if you're feeling like you're going to fly off, I really do need to ask how many bowls and what strain do you like the best?
Mate, this is bloody Aussie grown, right, mate? You go out, you find one, and you stick your finger up your butthole, and I don't know. No.
What the? Okay, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to
I like to
Welcome
do
to
bake
Flat Earth Trollers. Welcome to
This
Flat Earth
is
Trollers.
Flat Earth
like
today.
I have
Flat Earth guys.
I have an interesting little poser for any of the bowlers here, and I meant to bring this up ages ago with Paper Explanator, if you don't mind, just because Saturn was there. Can I share my? If you don't mind, can I share my screen? It'll be an interesting one because I can't see a way around it, so I'd like to see how you might explain it. Is it okay if I share my screen? Okay, let me
ask Nathan.
Set this out. I don't need to worry about the link because the link is already out there. Now you can see this, right?
Beautiful.
You can see this from NASA.gov as well. So here's so you obviously understand this is Saturn and its rings taken from, I think it's about 1 billion miles, right? So if you look at this, here's my problem. If you look at the pattern of the shadow in relation as the given distances to the sun, which is 1 billion miles away, how can this shadow...
There's one assertion here. How are you going to verify that it was taken from 1 billion miles away?
No, not the photograph. The moon, the sun, and Saturn.
What you said
are 1 billion miles.
You said the photograph was taken.
You said it was
from
taken from 1 billion miles away.
No. Well, I apologize. I didn't mean to say that. What I meant was that you understand this is Saturn, and Saturn's 1 billion miles away from the sun. And here we have a shadow pattern on the rings of Saturn, which are, I don't know the distances given, but they can't be too extensive. What I want to know from that distance and everything we know about light and shadows, and Sean, I'd appreciate your input here as well. How is it possible that the shadow of the planet fits almost snugly to the peripheral of the outer ring here? You can see it yourself. I don't need to zoom in. This doesn't make any sense. It should be absolutely. It should be absolutely infinitely longer.
That's what it is. That's the correct answer. It's coincidence.
Then you said
one photo. You've
This
picked
is from
one
NASA,
photo
man.
where it does. There's nothing unusual about that. Nothing
What?
unusual about that whatsoever.
You know when the sun is above your head, Paul, you know you're a physicist, right? You know when the sun is above your head, your shadow is relatively short, right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know when it's approaching evening time and the sun is at a much more acute angle to you, you have a much longer shadow, right? You can agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. So this sun now is 1 billion miles away, and we can see the relative position based on the light and shadow on the planet itself. So how is it possible for this shadow to be so short in relation to the distances we are told that the sun and Saturn are apart from one another?
It depends on the angle of the rings. It
Not
depends
the
on the
distance.
angle. It depends on what the shadow is being cast on. If you cast
So
a shadow
why-
on an angled wall, it's going to change.
Looks to me like the sun's
No one's
almost
saying-
above, like so
Right.
it may cause the
Yeah,
shadow to be
no.
shorter.
No.
Yeah. That's right.
Well,
It depends on the. You can clearly see. You can clearly see that those rings are at an angle to the direction that the sun is shining.
Sure.
But what does that have to do with anything, though? That doesn't have to do with the shadow from the ball.
Exactly, Pete. What does this have to do with anything?
Right, I can understand that. but
All
the
you're showing here is that we can make a short shadow.
Look,
It shouldn't be short. Seriously.
You can't
The
make a
problem
short
is
shadow. The
Pete
sun
is
acts in the way it
confused
does.
by oatmeal.
Right, the sun acts in the way you can't make any short shadow, Paul. You know,
It depends on the angle that the rings are. And you can clearly see
No.
that the rings are at an angle to the direction that the sun's coming.
It depends on the angle.
You can clearly
the
see
object.
that those rings are not at a right angle to the
I
terminator
agree
line.
with
They're
you.
inclined.
I agree with you, but would you agree that the shadow of the ball is contained within the rings?
Yes.
Right. So we have a distance from approximately 1 billion kilometers or miles from the sun to the planet itself. Do you have any idea what the extent of these rings are in terms of distance? I don't myself, but even if it's in a few thousands of miles, whatever, this is not going to happen, right?
I'm sorry, I've got to interject. Sorry. We've been joined by Flamingo Boot. Very pleased to have you here.
What up, Boo?
What's up? Can you hear me? Can
We
anybody
can
hear
hear
me?
you loud and clear. Also, Hank, now you've rejoined. I think Curved had a few things to ask you once this back and forth is finished, just so you know.
Okay. I'm not going to get a satisfactory answer for this anyway, so I leave
Well,
it
Pete,
there.
nothing's going to satisfy
hold
you
on.
because you don't understand anything.
I have a personal image that I took of Saturn that sort of shows the shadow on it. An image that I took with a telescope that can show that the shadow doesn't reach beyond the outer rings. And I
Wow,
can show you
cool.
if I can
Yeah, if you can show that, that'd be
figure out how
awesome.
to film it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, show it.
All right. So
How are we supposed to trust this guy?
Can I just ask, in general, that this is not what
you don't have to.
this is not what we would expect to see. We would expect to see an extremely elongated shadow that no way would the whole lot of it fit
No,
in.
you would expect to, Pete, because you're mathematically and geometrically
I'm
incompetent.
not sure if I know how to do this.
There you go. Look at the Windows logo. That's the IHS there. Anyway,
Jeez.
that's a different story. This better be good, Flamingo. Is that what you come in here for, man? You don't normally come to live.
Wow, this is cool. Can't wait for it to actually
Well, I mean,
appear.
I just wanted to show you that the shadow doesn't always extend out past the outer rings. This is a picture that I took of Saturn. I did this.
You did that?
That's a nice picture.
Yeah.
That's a damn good picture. That's
Shadow
awesome.
on the backside, it doesn't extend all the way back to the. So I can't give you an explanation as to why because I'm not. But you know, as you can see, the shadow is not extending out past the outer
Well,
rings.
The viewers
Could you imagine if those rings were inclined even higher?
it would even be shorter.
For images.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we see more?
So back to my point about the gravity. What's going on there?
Pete, you
Oh, no,
have to
can we see more?
understand the
Can we see
distance
more?
in the
Can
sun
we
is
see
not
more
a
of your
factor in the
photos?
calculation
Oh, no, he's
of the
stopping.
angle.
Oh no. Go on, show us some more.
What?
Oh, he's gone. Oh.
Who's not gone?
Thank you, Flamingo
now
Boot.
he
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that picture, even though it was just one that was epic.
Yeah, well, I took a closer look into that picture, right? It didn't look quite right, but I mean, I don't think the point is proven. I think intuitively we should expect the shadow to be much, much longer. But yeah,
Why?
that's what it was about.
Why would it be
Sort of
longer?
hit and run.
Why should it be longer, Pete?
Well, I just explained about the sun in the evening time as opposed to the sun over your head. This is what we expect, right? Our shadows elongating.
Whoa, but at which angle is analogous to this photograph, Pete?
Right. Well, my own the photograph I showed, right? Well, it's pretty much horizontal, right? It's close enough to horizontal.
Get out of town.
I showed you. Okay, maybe there's a few degrees, but it's still.
Pete, come on, man. How can you be this dishonest, Pete?
I practiced it. I got it.
It's right there. You showed us the picture, Pete. You showed us the picture. You can't lie about it like this. You showed it to us.
The sun's angle was clearly not horizontal, and the rings weren't horizontal either.
So here we go. Look at the
rings are
light
not.
and dark pattern.
Yeah.
So the sun
that's
is
clearly angled. That's clearly angled.
Yes, but slightly angled over this way, right?
What would happen if those rings were vertical in the same picture?
Okay, so we have a little under half an hour left on this live stream. I hope you're all enjoying it thus far. Epic that was from Flamingo Boot. Just jumped in and dropped that in. That was brilliant. Superb picture. So I hope you're all enjoying the stream as much as I am. If you have not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And most importantly, if you would like to join the show, there is presently one gap on the panel. Simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link below the video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. Number 2, if you are ejected, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. There's currently about 120 people watching this stream, and I am eternally grateful to all of you who share these streams, as it increases the viewing audience, which in turn increases the diversity of the people on the panel. So thank you very much to all who have shared. Once again, if you've not shared, be sure to share this stream on social media, and if you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe.
Picture as it is, imagine in your eyes that you grab hold of the disc of the rings and you turn it counterclockwise until it lines up with the shadow, with the terminus line. And so then the shadow of Saturn would be where?
This is a trick question. Did you just say you're trying to...
It is pretty tricky. It is pretty tricky.
Sorry, I didn't hear, but did you just say if the rings were all vertical up and facing, like more or less facing us, I guess you could say, or facing the sun? Sorry.
From our point of view, reach out with your hand and grab the rings and then just twist your wrist counterclockwise until it's straight up and down.
Well, there'd be no shadow if it was facing.
Pete has yet to solve that problem.
There'd be nothing for the shadow to project against. Right?
Correct. Congratulations.
Anyway.
So hang on. Sorry, Mick. So when the moon is eclipsing the Earth, didn't we just observe recently an eclipse where the moon shadow traversed America, Brenda? Isn't that correct?
Yes.
I mean, the solar eclipse, not a
Right, but the moon had obviously casting a shadow from its set distance, which is 250,000 miles away.
Yes.
Wow. Are you saying that Saturn's shadow is less in distance than the moon's shadow, even though Saturn is 1 billion miles away?
You're saying it makes no difference. It's not the distance of the shadow; it's what it's being projected on.
This is.
It's also would also be the angle to the sun as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not really the distance of the light, the shadow. It's the amount of shadow that's being cast, because a shadow cannot be cast smaller than the object casting it. So the problem is when we look at, excuse me, let me finish, please. No. If you look at other eclipses, like when there's a solar eclipse on Jupiter, the shadow is the same size as the moon. And you can observe this, but for some reason on Earth, the shadow is way smaller. It's only like a couple 100 miles in diameter for some reason, and that's not what you would expect to see.
No, that's the umbra. That's the umbra, but the entire shadow includes the penumbra and the umbra, right?
Okay, so how does that work? Because I've looked at it, and it doesn't make sense in my head, and you can't say it's an argument from incredulity, because I completely comprehend it.
The umbra,
I just don't believe it.
The umbra is the darkest portion of the shadow, and
Somebody's got feedback, Oro.
Mute. Yeah, while Ara's sorting out that, I just want to say hello to non-schooling first. If you can just say a quick hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
We're
Good to
getting
have you here.
echo.
There's an echo. You need to turn your YouTube page off.
Thank you for that piece of information, Brenda. That this distance from the sun to Saturn is 888.2. Isn't it interesting?
What's the umbra and penumbra on the solar eclipse from Jupiter?
You know that does vary, Pete.
Right, but just the
Not a
888.
it's not a constant distance, Pete. Get off it.
No, but the
What, Hank?
888 is the interesting part. We know these distances are nonsense.
What, Hank?
Can you answer my question, please? Where's the umbra and penumbra on the solar eclipse on Jupiter?
That's a good question, Hank.
Solar eclipse on Jupiter from what?
We can see the shadow of Jupiter's moon pass across the surface of Jupiter, and I'm wondering, where is the umbra and penumbra on Jupiter?
It's there,
Jupiter
but
has
the
no-
umbra and the umbra are nowhere near as the penumbra is nowhere near as large because of the distance between Jupiter and the sun.
Well, wait a minute. You guys said just a minute ago the distance didn't matter. Isn't that right?
It doesn't matter
to the angle.
It
It
doesn't
only
matter.
matters when you need it,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
To the angle, Hank. Angle.
To the angle that the rings are.
And the angle of the
No, he
sun
was talking
to the
about the
planet.
moon. When you see the moon cross Saturn, wasn't it?
No. Oh,
No, the
God.
Earth's moon doesn't cross
God,
Saturn.
God.
Jupiter has 12 moons at last count, probably.
Hank, when you're looking at Jupiter, an eclipse on Jupiter, what moon, what size is that moon? How far is that moon from Jupiter?
Sorry,
You're
or
not
does he
just
mean
gonna
the
say
number on the shadow that Saturn's creating?
It's not like all moons create identical shadows. You know what I'm saying? You
Or
feel
does
that,
he mean
Hank?
there should be fuzz on the edge of Saturn's shadow because of the light penumbra area
So,
section
you
and
feel
stuff?
that, Hank?
Technical.
You know what I'm saying? Is Hank there, or is he not talking anymore?
I don't know.
He wanted his question answered. We're trying to answer it, and he's not there. You're muted if you're trying to talk, Hank.
Can you show any other, while Hank is waiting to come in, can you show any other practical examples of something casting a shadow that is magnitude smaller than the object itself that is actually casting the shadow? Or sorry, the shadow being magnitude smaller than the object casting.
Hey, Pete, I can do better than that.
Yeah.
I can tell you that you can go out and actually you can put a styrofoam ball on a stick and put a target on like a wall. Okay,
Yeah.
where the sun's shining at it, and you can mark out a circle that's the same diameter as the sphere on your stick, and you can take it at the paper where you've drawn that circle that's the same as the circumference of the sphere. Start moving the ball away. Watch what happens. You got a good, clear, sunny day. Watch what happens for yourself. Okay, and then you can figure out how it is that you're in on the conspiracy.
Right. Well, I haven't got these things to hand at the minute, Curbs. Can you tell me what will happen?
Yeah, you will get an umbra and a penumbra.
And the umbra will be smaller than
Yes,
the object
it will.
itself.
Yeah, the dark part of the shadow will actually shrink inside that circle on the paper on the wall. When you've got the sun behind you there like that, start backing it away.
Have you done that yourself?
I've seen somebody doing the video of it, somebody that I know very well.
I think I saw that video as well.
I saw it happen. Yes.
That's someone in
But aren't umbras
And the thing is, you can do it if you're truly interested in truth and you want to know about this for yourself. Don't listen to what any man tells you. This is very simple. Do it yourself, and you can't blame anyone else.
You know why they tell you to do it yourself?
No trust. No
It's so you
trust.
don't tell anyone else, and you don't get the
No
secret out
trust
there.
required, Pete. Even a paranoid schizophrenic can do this.
And you got one right here to prove that.
But the umbra and penumbra of the moon.
Oh, who let him in?
With the umbra. Hey, what's up?
What a bit.
How you doing?
Boy,
But,
nails on a chalkboard.
I'm good. How you doing? But with the umbra and penumbra of the moon, you should still see the moon when, say, it eclipses the sun. You see a very dark object with no definition. The sun, but you should see in the light shadow of the penumbra. You should still make out some of its features.
It sounds like a perfect time to get a shot of the back of the moon, but we still haven't really. Have you seen that dodgy one they came out with? The light doesn't even move across it.
These guys have a tough job.
Yeah, I
mean, to defend shit like that.
What are you talking about? The back of the moon, the far side, or the dark side during an eclipse?
I'm talking about the bum hole. It's a good one.
Wow. Okay. Well,
But
I'm going back to not talking.
The umbra. Just keep searching for the truth. Ignore the trolls. But the main thing is with the penumbra, you have like a light shadow. In an umbra, you have a complete shadow. Okay. Penumbra, a light shadow, just a little bit of darkness. Okay. And that little bit of darkness, you should still be able to make out the moon's features. But you see a body that has no features, no definition, almost like it's another planetary body, possibly Ketu, Rahu, some of these other eclipses that aren't part of the Western canon of astrology, acting to a cult to make some of these eclipses happen. Maybe there's something that we don't know about some of these planetary bodies.
So Arv, you're outside of totality, and you think you're supposed to see this with the brightness of the sun shining.
But you're talking about a penumbra, which is a light shadow that shouldn't just totally block out any of the moon's features. This is a light shadow, not a total shadow. Where is the moon's features in some of these eclipses? It's like a totally clear body is coming up and eclipsing.
Hey, you've been asked a question. Can you let somebody answer it, please?
So Arv, imagine this scenario. Imagine you're in your bedroom and all the lights are off, and you open your door, and outside of your door, somebody has set up a stadium light. They pulled off a light from a football stadium, just one of the lights, and it's shining right in your eye. And then right in front of that light, your friend has his head and it's popping out right, and it's partially covering just part of the eye. Why can't you see his face?
Because the light's in the way, right?
No, the light's behind him.
The light's blinding you at that point.
Yes.
It was a trick question by
the sun is also is so bright that the moon appears dark when it comes between your eye and the sun.
But there was no blinding light initially. Like when the example that you're talking about, the light would be blinding initially, and something would be trying to block the light that's already blinding. The
sun is pretty blinding.
The sun without it blinding you, then you're talking about a different situation. You can see perfectly fine the sky without it blinding you.
The sun's light is pretty blinding, if you ask me. It's much brighter than the light, an intense light from any lamp, right?
Because it seems like the spotlight
I wouldn't have to get a great big stadium light. I could just get any really, really bright flashlight, like maybe I see. You see my point?
I mean, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
That answers your question. You're welcome.
Thank you. But it just seems like, things are kind of shifting. We got a penumbra, which is a light shadow, which should be occulting the moon. If it is the moon, that's even the occulter. It just seems like we're missing something here. I mean, something's not making any sense. Where's the moon with its craters?
Well, just imagine that it's not a stadium light. It's a headlight off of a car, and it's positioned so that your friend's head is the same size as the headlight from the car, right? And when it's partially covering up the headlight, you're in the penumbra of your friend's shadow, and then his head moves a little bit further, and it fully covers up except for a little ring around it. You would be in the umbra of his shadow, of his head, of the shadow from his head. And in both cases, you would not see his face because the light is so bright that your eyes can't adjust and see his face, because it's a matter of intensity and exposure levels, right?
Well, that makes sense if it's at night, but what about solar eclipses during the day when you don't have this nighttime and the only light source blinding
solar eclipses at night? Are you talking about solar eclipses at night?
But the thing is, this would not work for the solar eclipse. We just had a solar eclipse where some sort of a body, some sort of planetary body, occulted the sun. I didn't see any craters like it was the moon. It looked like something else totally entirely. Maybe Ketu Rahu, the black hole sun that absorbs light and is invisible and not part of Western canon astrology, but part of Vedic astrology.
I gave it my best shot, Paul.
Yeah. You explained it to him, he accepted your explanation, and then he spouted the same bullshit back to you.
Yeah. There are plenty of people who have adjusted the exposure on their lenses once they're in full totality, and they've been able to adjust the exposure enough so that you can make out features on the moon. I'm sure that there are multiple. I'm sure that there are multiple.
And also, you're talking about your eyes adjusting from total darkness to light. You're talking about eyes that are having trouble adjusting with all of the light from darkness. You know, in darkness, your eyes open up. The pupils or irises or whatever of your eyes open up really wide, and so they have to adjust to the sudden light before they can start resolving anything. We're talking about a bunch of different dynamics here, aren't we?
No, it's the exact same. It's called aperture in a camera. It's the exact same scenario. The aperture of your iris functions exactly like the aperture in a camera.
Hey, Arv, did you look at the moon during the eclipse when you were like in the penumbra zone? Not in totality, and you were looking at the moon trying to see it, but you got blinded by the sun?
I guess I wasn't in the total, so I guess in the penumbra or whatever. So I wasn't in the totality or whatever.
You were in the penumbra, though. You were in the penumbra.
I believe so. Yes.
Approximately where were you, if you don't mind me asking? Where did you travel to?
I was on the East Coast at the time.
East Coast.
East Coast, Mid-Atlantic. This was
I don't want to know the city you were in or anything. I'm just wondering, like, how far from totality you were, or the center of totality. Anything? Can you estimate it?
150. Yeah, 150. I want to say.
And how bright was the sun that you could see?
It was pretty bright.
And you looked at it naked eye like that?
Yes.
Trying to see the moon.
That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
They've been rejoined by Flamingo Boot, who I think is
I stare at the sun all the time and nothing ever happens to me. I just stare.
Sorry, I have to turn you all down just to do a quick intro. So we've been joined by Flamingo Boot, who I think is trying to present something to us. If you can just click on Flamingo Boot's icon and you'll be able to see what the audience is seeing.
And the black.
Quiet, Pete.
I won't be quiet.
He turns your audio down when he announces somebody. You can't be heard.
Sorry, I didn't hear Nathan. Sorry, okay.
They've been joined by Flamingo Boot again, and as he presented such a spectacular picture of Saturn, I'm more than content to immediately screen share what he's showing us.
So anyway, soft inner core, bubbling and gaseous and all sorts of things. When's that harder outside shell just going to crack and we're just going to, like, you know, go in?
So that's an awesome video, Flamingo. Alpha Leo.
Moving around the Milky Way and stuff. Getting all lighter out on the edge. We're not as heavy out on the edge there, are we? Thanks to gravity. Those things sort of like
just
not pulled as tightly, I imagine.
Brenda, are you saying that when the adjustments were made, you can make out the features on the moon during totality here? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Did you see what Flamingo got?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you not see there?
The features of the moon? No, I couldn't see that. No, I didn't notice that. That's what he was showing.
Yeah, I could see him.
That's what it looked like to me.
That's fine enough. I'm just asking. That's what you claim to be able to see, right? So we shouldn't
do a camera during totality.
Right. I think sound.
YouTube compressed the image, so but my view of it in the raw footage, it was fantastic, and you can clearly see Earthshine, and you can clearly see sort of not like obvious craters on the moon, but you can see a lot of the features on the moon, such as the dark, like what you like to call the Milky Way print on the moon. You can clearly see a lot of that. So I mean, I'm totally convinced it's the moon.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for that, because of course that side of the moon is on the dark side of the sun, if you will.
You have a link to that. You have a link to that, Boot.
Yeah, we shouldn't be seeing.
Have you ever thought of going to Vimeo? I think they have a better. I think they don't compress it as harshly as YouTube
Can I just
does.
say, Brenda, I've been thinking for the longest of times now that all there is the sun and its reflected artifacts. So the moon itself is a reflected artifact of the sun. So by the moon passing in front of the sun like that, by us still being able to see the features of the moon, this just supports to me that, well, they're one and the same. The moon and the sun are
the moon and the sun are one and the same.
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, we shouldn't.
How does the sun get in front of itself?
Because blueberries, Brenda.
No. We're dealing with we're dealing with reflective surfaces up here, but that's a different point. The point being that if you're claiming that you can see the features on the face of the moon, even though it's at the dark side of the sun, if that doesn't make sense. In any normal, it should be pitch black, right? And I know there was some controversy as well regarding Soundly's footage of.
Well, his isn't the only video taken during the most recent eclipse that showed Earthshine. There were many other, completely unrelated.
He just showed you.
Yeah.
Flamingo just showed you his own video.
And he mentioned Milky Way on the moon. Of course, I say that's why you can find the Milky Way on the moon, because all that we're dealing with is the sun and its reflected artifacts. When
we look for images that people have made,
face, we see the moon's face. When we look at a displayed reflection of the sun's face, we see the stars. This is why the Milky Way can be found on the moon between craters Eratosthenes and Eudoxus. Thank you.
Pete, why does the reflection turn around?
Why does my reflection turn around?
No.
The moon.
What do
If
you
the
mean?
moon is a reflection of the sun, whatever the sun is I'm sorry. The sun is a reflection in and of itself, right? From the projector at the north center underneath the wing and the tree and stuff. And so
no.
Yeah,
The sun, as we experience the sun, it is itself a reflection of energies.
Okay, so that's a
emanating from
reflection.
the north center,
Yeah. So so the moon is a reflection. Now the sun is a reflection on the dome, 111 kilometers up. What is the moon on? What is the moon on? When it's right in front of the sun, in line with the sun, what is it on?
The same barrier, man.
How is that possible?
This is all reflected. Again, if you think of a hall of mirrors, and you
Crescent moon.
Hang on. You got
Crescent moon.
What?
Crescent moon.
Crescent moon, the phases of the moon, right? The sun moves against the barrier in a sine wave fashion. So when it's at its lowest point, then we see the full moon. When it's at its highest point against the barrier,
why don't we see this?
We have no moon. Right?
Why don't we see this, Pete? If the sun moves in a sine wave pattern, why don't we see this?
It moves in a sine wave relative to the barrier, right? Again,
relative to the barrier.
We do see this, and we see its effects in terms of the phases of the moon.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you don't have to apologize. No, I've been through this curve already. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, nuts. Anyway, that was Earthshine, everybody.
Earthshine, yeah. Earthshine, that's it. Earthshine. For goodness sake.
You can find images on Google from professionals, amateurs online of Earthshine during the recent eclipse. They're out there.
You have to keep making up nonsense.
Many people do this.
Lies. To support the initial lie, which is the Earth isn't moving. None of this would be happening if we all recognize that the Earth isn't moving. So once you take that as your starting point, all the rest goes away.
I know. And Hank, are you there?
Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive.
Yep, you're all caught up in it. So, Hank. No, Hank's not there.
But objects that
I'm
move
still here.
into-
Can we talk about gravity?
What's that?
Orb was speaking. I can't believe I'd rather hear Orb than you. Wow.
I would
was
too. I agree with you.
I see the floor. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, carry
Go
on.
ahead.
Carry
Go
on.
ahead.
It's all you, Orb. It's the Orb show.
Well, I mean, if something moves into the light, you'd see it all the way until it blocks out the light and causes the shadow. This wasn't seen with the recent solar eclipse. An invisible-looking object seemed to have occulted the sun. You couldn't see it. Was right in front of the sun. When it moves into the light like that, you see it all the way until the point that it blocks out whatever is the light source.
Orb, can you repeat that, Orb?
Okay.
I want you to hear. Next time you're saying it, listen to yourself and hear what you're saying.
My best guesstimation, Orave, about what's going on there is if you get yourself a laser pen and shine it in a mirror, right, and move your hand in a dark room, move your hand across until you can get the laser light to shine back on its source. This is what I think is happening when we see an eclipse like this. That's my best reason. That's why you can't see any approach of any body blocking it out, because it's a reflection coming back on itself.
So when you shine a laser onto a mirror and position it so that it shines directly back on itself, then the laser turns black, right?
No, I haven't tried that actually, Brenda. That's my best thinking. I must.
That's your best. That's your best thinking.
I don't have a laser, right? But yeah.
Sometimes your best just isn't good enough.
About 1 minute left, guys.
Well, I mean, we do see some reflective properties off of the dome with sundogs and stuff like that with a duplicate and in some cases a triplicate sun.
That's great.
So it does look like there is some sort of dome action happening. I don't know if that mechanism is.
That's some dome action.
But
You got to get some dome action going here. Baby.
That's almost as unbelievable as gravity, dude. Just watch your
how do you
mouth.
explain sundogs then? Is it some sort of atmospheric thing, some sort of refraction thing or something? I mean, what's the Band-Aid theory for that?
Band-Aid theory for what exactly?
For sundogs, when you basically duplicate, triplicate suns in the sky.
There is no Band-Aid theory for.
Yep. It's all encoded in the Orlando. Remember Mark Sargent Prepper, Sergeant Pepper. Remember he came along and he said his map of choice, the Orlando Ferguson map. Very strange map, right? Because it kind of shows a flat, a concave, and a convex, much job. But yeah, he chose it for a different reason, because the contour of the barrier is encoded within the Orlando Fear Sun map. Right?
Yeah, that map is.
And with that, I am going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the live audience for tuning in to this live debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the panelists for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.